Doesn't matter how good you are at A, B, C, or D, if you can't really find your voice and put it through.
The kind of clients I want to work with is someone who can think long term, right?
Yes,
So-
that is key right there.
Yeah.
But having a Lambo would be nice, but I wouldn't make that part of my identity, right? Or I wouldn't make, watches or any of that be part of your identity. Like, be authentic, right? Like, and that's really the advantage of hiring a team to do it for you. You just create content. We'll take care of the rest for you. Learn sales. That should be the first thing everyone learns.
Yeah,
100%.
you know what I mean?
I learned that too late in life as well.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Creator Legacy Podcast. I'm here with Rob, and this is our first podcast together.
Yeah.
We're excited, but obviously Rob is not in a good mood today because somebody broke his microphone.
No, it's working. What are you talking about? That's why you're talking into it.
Oh yeah, that's right. Everything's working.
It's working perfectly fine. It's not broken one bit.
Okay, so
All right.
oh man, I don't know.
All right, what are we starting with?
I don't know. Oh,
Like, I really don't know. Make sure you talk right into the mic. Let's not screw around. Just put it off to the side.
hey baby.
Go ahead. This is what happens when you let people borrow expensive equipment is they can ruin it. And yeah, you don't realize it until you try to use it. So
Wait, so what was the reason that you bought the microphone for in the first place?
which mic?
Like-
So I originally bought that for voiceover. So I used to do voiceover work for training modules. So I would always it's a variety of things. It's recording for training modules, like videos and things like that. It wasn't like professional work, but I wanted to do professional for a period of time, and I was like, you're competing with everyone in the world, man. Voiceover's tough. So yeah, and then I just bought that mic, and then I saw this one. This one was too expensive at the time because I was broke. And then I went ahead and got this one, which is a little bit better. I saw Joe Rogan uses these ones. I was like, okay.
Joe Rogan uses.
So there's another one in the mail.
Okay, so that's that's good.
Chase, you can move the mic out of the way.
Yeah.
You don't even need to talk. Just slide it off to the side.
Okay, just like that.
There we go.
Hey, baby girl.
Oh, we said no dog.
No dog.
Gotta
No
get
dog.
rid of the dog. Go.
Go. Poor
Hold
thing.
on 1 second. We gotta get rid of the dog.
Yeah.
Come on, doggy. It's funny. I wish I could show people what it looks like on the behind the camera. It's a mess.
Oh yeah.
Hopefully, this area doesn't look too bad.
So
Chase,
yes.
go ahead, man. You first.
So I had some questions I wanted to ask you.
Oh boy, here we go. He has prepared questions.
No, not really. Just something I've been wanting to ask you, but I guess now is the perfect time.
Sure.
So now that you've been in business for yourself for the past, I would say, 2 to 3 years now?
Yeah, I would say it's been about a year completely on my own. I had a business partner before that. And then before that, about a year and a half. I tried a couple of businesses before that, but nothing really serious.
Okay. Like, so what made you decide to like go all in, like instead of just like keeping your regular job and then do this on the side?
Funny enough, there's a couple things. It was first we had the COVID vaccine. I had a job where I was making probably the most I'd ever make doing what I was doing. I was an instructional designer. Go ahead and look that one up. A lot of people don't know what that is. Not in construction. It's in training development, essentially.
Right.
So I was making the most I ever made, doing really well. COVID vaccine required. I was like, I'm not getting it. So they let me go because this is a hospital in Stanford Healthcare. And then what else did I do? Oh, and then so I moved over to Google. I was there for about a year, and the contract just ended. They just didn't have enough work for me. And at that point, I was making a little bit of money, not a lot. I think maybe $10,000-15,000 a month. I think was it.
Oh, that's pretty.
It was about a year and a half ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then I was just like, let's just go for it. I didn't look for another job. I had a couple recruiters contact me, but I was like, maybe it's time. I've been thinking about it for a long time. Because once you get the itch, it doesn't just go away, right?
Yeah. 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 No, I that's how I felt too when I was working my previous job, and it always like deep inside me, like I wanted to do more, you know.
Yeah.
And every time, like I used to work like in the graveyard shift, right?
You're working at the airport, right?
At the airport,
Yeah.
graveyard shift, and the problem is like I wanted to like get more hours, but every time I begged my boss, and like she was like, no, like we can't afford that, you know.
Yeah.
And I'm like, but I want to work more. I want to do more. Like,
Yeah.
I want to add more values to the company. But I think after COVID, it's kind of like an eye opener for most of us, right?
I think a lot of people, yeah. A lot of people went to be business owners, and then maybe they failed, so then they go back to work. I have several people that did that. They were like, "Oh, I'm going to do Airbnb, I'm going to do affiliate marketing, I'm going to do Amazon," and then it goes, then they go back. But you haven't gone back. So when did you quit? When was your last day?
Oh man, I think after I talked to you.
Yeah, I know. It's
that
all
was
my
like
fault.
it's all his fault, people.
It's all my fault.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was 2.5 years ago. I
Two and a
believe.
half years. Wow.
Yeah, back in May of 2022. I remember.
Yeah. And then what did you do right after that? Why don't we just give everyone a little backstory?
No, no. So right after I quit my my job at the airport for 5 years, I went and took a job in Honduras. That was really random. You
It
know?
was.
Yeah. So when I told him,
So we had a conversation. I remember this, and we're like,
Yeah.
Chase, just get out of it. Like I think you're only making like $18-20 an hour, which isn't terrible, but it's not like creator kind of money, right? And then I was like, just quit, just do something else. And then what did you do?
I took a job in Honduras to become a resort manager.
Resort manager.
Yeah.
Have you ever
Fancy
managed a
title.
resort before?
No, no. It was random.
That's the best part about it.
Yeah.
It was Airbnb though, right? They were doing it through Airbnb.
The boss I was working with, her vision was she wanted to do a healing resort.
Okay.
You know, it's kind of like
Oh, I didn't know
those-
that.
Yeah, it was a different niche, and then but
Like
the
wellness
investor,
and such.
a wellness center basically.
Yeah.
But the investor, like he had other intentions.
Mm.
So with the conflict, you know what I mean, it didn't work out.
Yeah.
You know, like my boss was fighting with him, and then he was fighting with me, and then at the end of the day, like we're not on the same mission, right? It's not the same
Yeah.
same vision.
Yeah.
You know,
Okay. How long did that last for?
that lasted for about 6 months.
Yeah. And that was kind of when you started doing YouTube stuff, right?
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
when I started to do it. And then my boss, she bought me a camera.
Yeah.
You know, she bought me this camera, and she's like, "Chase, here's your camera. Take some photos." I'm
Oh.
like, "Wait, what? Like, we need marketing content." I was like, "What are you talking about? I'm not a photographer. I don't know how to take any photos."
I'll figure it out.
Yeah, I'll figure it out. So,
I'm Asian.
so that's what started me with this whole, photography, videography, and then branding stuff, right?
Yeah. And then where'd you go after that? You went to, was that Tijuana?
No, I went to Mexico City.
Mexico City. That's right.
Yeah.
Mexico City's cool. I
Yeah.
like Mexico City a lot. We should go back there.
Yeah, I think we should.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely a
I
lot
had a
of.
lot of fun. I was only there 5 days. Yeah,
5
but it was
days.
fun.
Okay.
I like the city a lot. All right. So what happened in Mexico City?
Oh man, a lot of stuff happened. It was too fun. That was the problem.
Yeah.
The problem with Mexico City is just there's too many things to do.
Yeah.
Well, you know, it's a big population. It's like
Yeah.
New York of Latin America. So I was there, like, you know me, like at that time I was still like figuring out how all these things, right? Especially with the coaching stuff, because I was learning sales and things, and I didn't know at the time, right? I don't know if I told you, like 10 years ago,
Yeah.
this same boss that I work with in the resort, right? She was coaching me, and 10 years ago, I remember, like, she was like, "Chase, if you want to be successful in the future,
Yeah.
you do 2 things." And I was like, "Oh, okay, what is it? What is it? Tell me."
Oh, give me the sauce.
Yeah, what's the secret? And she was like, "You either become a trainer, like you,
Yeah.
or you became a sales or marketing person."
Yeah.
You know
100%.
what I mean?
I learned that too late in life as well.
And I was like,
Sales.
I kicked myself. I was like, man, I took the wrong path, right? We both went down the
Yeah,
training
my
path.
boys, man, as soon as they turn 18 or before then, sales. Learn sales. It'll be useful. Anything you ever do, sales. Learn sales. That should be the first thing everyone learns.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but that was the thing. So that's when, like, that was like what, 2.5, 3 years ago. That's when I started to get into sales, right?
Yeah.
And coaching. So
Yeah.
we,
And YouTube is like, not YouTube, but Mexico City is right where you really started doing a little bit more with your business partner at the time, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
Mexico.
With Leland. Helping him grow and helping some of the guys out there grow.
Yeah, yeah,
We have this business network. It's all over the world. That is how we initially met.
yeah. And then what's next? What's next, Rob?
And what was next? Then it was TJ,
Yeah, then that was
And TJ.
Tijuana. Yeah,
Tijuana, and that's where you started learning about a little bit about marketing.
yeah.
And you're like, Rob, teach me about marketing.
Yeah, that was when I went full on with him, and we I think we did some sort of like collaboration, right?
Yeah.
We collaborated on a
We
whole bunch of
did.
stuff.
We had a couple client accounts that we were working and we were building, but we didn't know what the hell we were doing. We were
Yeah.
just kind of fake it till you make it.
Yeah, yeah. It was terrible. It was-
Yeah, but lots of trial and error. It was a lot of fun, right? And we had a good experience. Went down to Tijuana, looked into some investment opportunities down there, and then it was good. Great experience.
yeah, yeah. Definitely, Tijuana was eye opening. Like,
Yeah.
because I told you I used to live in Honduras, and I thought that was a dangerous place. But then,
Yeah.
like when I was in Tijuana, I was like, oh my god, this is a different world.
Yeah.
But
What do you mean?
You know, it's near the border, right?
Yeah,
Anything that's near San Diego border, there's a lot of stuff going on there behind the scenes.
because the drugs and everything, right?
drugs,
Yeah.
well, you know.
Yeah, all this stuff going on.
Yeah, so
bad
it was a thing.
The things we avoid. Yeah, but to be honest, like it wasn't. Even though we were there it was only like 4 or 5 days. It still felt pretty. I mean, you don't want to go out at night and go to the wrong areas and everything, but it didn't feel as bad as like what people would say on what you see on the news, right? It's obviously not like the safest place in the world, but it's not. The fear is exaggerated for sure.
Yeah,
I was a little anxious going there, and then we go there, and they're like, oh. And then I found out about Guadalupe. That was a cool place.
yeah,
It's like wine country. It's
Yeah.
like Napa in Mexico. We went to some really nice restaurants. Those restaurants were killer.
yeah.
Yeah, they weren't that expensive either. Not like Napa. You spend like $300-400.
Oh, really? Napa's that expensive now?
Yeah, especially now.
Oh, okay.
It's nuts.
Okay, well, I didn't know.
And then where?
Yeah, and then I think I moved to Medellin, no?
Medellin,
Colombia.
Colombia.
Yeah, Colombia was the place.
Yeah, and that was where you got your first client, right, for YouTube.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. So down there, that's when I started like really like putting my foot down, because the years before I was just like trying to learn, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Trying to get my feet wet, and then Rob was like, helping me with some stuff, and I took on some projects for him. So I was kind of like a in the business world, I would be like an analyst, right?
Yeah.
Like a consultant.
Yeah.
Like those people from McKinsey.
Yeah.
But now it's kind of like, okay, I'm spending my real money now. You know
Yeah.
what I mean? Like I'm
Yeah,
swiping
yeah.
my credit card. This is real, This is no longer, sitting behind a computer and trying to learn something. This is actually like doing it.
Yeah.
And I want to say like I'm really thankful of you, right?
Yeah.
Because you
Ah,
kinda-
no.
no
Don't worry about me. We'll be thankful of each other.
yeah, I mean you pushed me down that path, and
Yeah.
I was like, man, like I think that's what being a good coach is. Like I think Rob doesn't realize it, but like he's just an amazing coach, right? And he sees potential in people, because most people, they don't believe in themselves. We know that.
That is the number one thing I deal with every single day. It's like, doesn't matter how much I believe in you. If you don't believe in yourself and you're not going to do anything with it,
Yeah.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
You're dead in the water.
Damn.
You are. I mean, they are.
Like a fish.
There's so many people. It's like you talk to them and you can see it in their eyes, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's like they don't believe in themselves. It's like, I just need you to just flip that little switch right there, and then you'll be golden. You start making money. Doing anything.
Okay.
All right. Let's hope I didn't go too vocal there. We might have to do some sound adjustments on that one. But you can do anything, right?
Yeah.
Anyone can do anything. They
Yeah.
just have to believe that they can do it. And that's the hardest thing. I believe in you, Chase. Just took you a little while to come around.
Yeah, it took a while, baby steps, but I think that's the most important thing
Exactly.
is making like little, what do you call it, improvements or adjustments or whatever, or however you call it, making baby steps, right?
Baby steps, just making those little improvements every single day. You might not, sometimes people might see like people that are successful and they say like, oh, millions and things like that. It's like most people don't make millions till like they're well into their 50s, right? I know this day and age you can do it and you can get lucky, but generally it's going to take 3 to 5 years of like hustling to really get to it, right? So if you think about it, when you get 18, you can either go to college for 3 to 5 years, which I wouldn't recommend, or you can work on a business for 3 to 5 years. And both of them are going to yield different results. And I can guarantee 9 times out of 10 that the business route is going to be much more successful, right? Because you go to college for 3 to 5 years. I just talked to someone. I ran into someone at Target.
Okay.
Someone that was a kid. And she went and got a marine biology degree. Ooh, sounds smart, right?
Yeah,
Sounds
that's
very
something I want to
intelligent.
do. That's something.
No jobs. She's working at Target.
Oh shit.
It's like this Brad Lee guy says. I see him on Instagram all the time. He's always like, yes, I love PhDs. I love MDs because they all work for me. It's brilliant, right?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah. So it's just one of those things. So yeah, then Colombia, and that was where you really started. That was where I started to notice your work on YouTube. Not for yourself, right? That's why we're doing this, is to kind of start working on us, but for all the client work that you did.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And sometimes, like, I think the biggest takeaway now is like, instead of, because for us it's like we're very passionate about helping other people, you know,
Yes.
and especially our clients, right?
Yeah.
And the thing
This
was,
guy too much.
yeah, too much,
Too much.
I care about them
Like,
too much. you know?
Chase, pay your bills first, and then take care of everyone else.
Stop helping people, right?
Yeah. Yeah. We're
but
both guilty though.
we're both guilty of that. So we focus a lot on the clients, and we wanted them to be successful.
Yeah.
But then at the end of the day, is like, even some clients that pay us good amount of money,
Yeah.
you can see it in them. Like, they don't want it as bad as we do.
Yeah. Exactly.
You know, so they hire us to be their coach, be their advisors, consultant, whatever you want to
Yeah.
call it. But we're the one that's like pulling them every single day.
Yeah.
know?
And when they get really good sales, I feel like sometimes we're more excited about it than they are.
Yeah.
And we're like, you know, or like they get really good marketing, right? Like maybe an ad hits and it's like really, really good. Or maybe a YouTube video just goes like nuts, right? And the retention rate's really high. Or whatever other metrics that we're using. And it's like, we get excited about it. And they're like, yeah, that's cool. Thank you. Right?
But they don't see the amount of work that we put behind, right?
Exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. And they'll be like, oh, I could just go do this on my own. You guys charge too much. I'd be like, yeah, well, we do charge a lot. And then I say, okay, have fun.
Yeah.
Right? We got a line of people waiting at the door. So, you know, we're not the lucky ones. You're the lucky ones to work with us.
Yeah. Yeah, these creators, like, they don't get it. Like, they most of these people, they see all these TikTok, all these IG reels, and they're like, oh, that's so easy, right?
Yeah.
But they don't understand, like, behind it is like, you need a team.
You do. You do. So I seen someone recently, and it was on TikTok, and she actually posted a video recently about what it takes to like be a creator. And she's like, no, my days are like 14-hour days. She's like, and I've been doing this for like 18 months. Because she mostly does it on her own. All the editing and all of the marketing, all the sales, like everything.
Scripting.
So when she's doing all of that, scripting, like coming up with all the new content, like when you're doing it on your own, it takes a lot. And it takes a lot of time. And people just see the success. They don't see the work behind the success. I think there's some saying about that, isn't there? Where people are like, they only see the results. They don't see all the action behind it, or the 2 years of action you did before that. You know what I mean?
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was interesting, that we were helping all these clients, and then some of them, like, once they started getting some success with us, and then they decided to, like, oh, okay, you know what? Let me take over. Let me do my own thing.
Yeah. You guys charge too much.
You guys charge too much. And then next thing you know, they took over, and guess what happened?
Every time.
Yeah.
We see it every time.
Yeah.
I don't think, have we ever had someone leave and be more successful?
No.
I'm trying to think of one example. No. It's the best case scenario I've seen is we had that client where we had in Mexico where she like kind of maintained for about a month or two, but then she just dropped off a cliff.
Yeah.
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 But most clients, as soon as they start doing everything on their own, and that's really the advantage of hiring a team to do it for you. You just create content. We'll take care of the rest for you. That's really the goal, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we want to make it as easy as possible. If you focus on the things that you love doing, which is creating content, let us take care of everything else. And you focus on your finances or whatever part that you want to do. But yeah, it's like being a creator it's one of the most rewarding things, I would say, but it's challenging. It's really tough.
It's like running a media company.
Exactly. Exactly. That's our job.
Yeah. Yes, it is.
That's our job.
So let me ask you, Rob, like, for you, what would be like an ideal client for you? Like, people that, what are some of the clients that you love to work with? Like, what are their traits, you know?
I think one of the biggest things that I look for when I'm working with people is personality. Right. 'Cause it doesn't matter how attractive you are. It doesn't matter like if you're in good shape. Like I'm in pretty average shape. You know, you're in pretty average shape. You know, and like appearance and all that. I mean, you have to be presentable, obviously. But I think having a great personality that people really know how to find their authentic voice, that is huge, right? Like if you can't find your authentic voice and put that through the camera to your audience, you're going to stumble. It doesn't matter how good you are at A, B, C, or D. If you can't really find your voice and put it through. And a lot of people take a little while to find that too. And then also people that are open, right? People that are willing to try different things, right? Because maybe if maybe you want to do a clothing line, right? We have a client that wants to do a clothing line. but it's very difficult to do clothing line. That's e-commerce, and you're like growing a significant brand. So maybe you want to try something else. Don't get like fixated on one thing, right? But maybe there's different ways. Maybe the clothing line is the end goal, but maybe you have all these different ways to get there, right? You can change your path on how you want to get to your goal. So there's lots of different ways you can do. So I think being open and having a great personality. I mean, what else would you think? You dealt with, almost as many people as I have. So
Yeah. I really resonate. I agree with Rob, right? Yeah, it's just for me now, like if the clients I want to work with is someone who can think long term, right?
yes,
know.
that is key.
So
That is key right there.
Yeah. So this is not just like one of those things you come in and hoping for the best for like 2 or 3 years, right?
Yeah.
You're doing it because this is what you see yourself doing for a long time.
Yeah.
So to me, like I recently worked with a client like that, and it was just like it's so much different, right? I don't have to pull him or her, right? This person, and then they're just motivated, right? Because
They are.
now they see the vision, right? That they're creating contents, they're putting themselves out there, they're putting their personality, like Rob said, and they're showing them the real. How would you say it? Their vulnerable self,
Yeah.
on the
Yeah.
internet, right? So that's very hard for most people, and I know it's hard, but definitely if you want to help people, if you want to create lasting change, you want to create a legacy, you want to create a long-lasting brand, right?
Yeah.
That's what's required, is to think long term and know that this is not a game where you just come in and you see all these people like, oh yeah, I'm driving Lamborghini, I'm living on a yacht, right? 3 months later,
They're just copying.
Yeah.
They're just copying what other people are doing. Like, be yourself.
be yourself.
I mean, having a Lambo would be nice, but I wouldn't make that part of my identity, right? Or I wouldn't make, watches or any of that be part of your identity. Like, be authentic, right? Like, you see all these, and it's not like a stab on Tate, but as soon as Tate started doing all that stuff, like everyone else just started copying him. And I'm
Copying.
like, come on, man, come up with your own shit.
Yeah.
Be the guy that travels all over Latin America, living in a different country every 6 or 12 months, right? If that's what you want to do. Right? Like, be the guy that has 15 kids. Be
Yeah.
the guy that, has all these different things. Don't focus on just like copying someone else's blueprint, or even like taking their blueprint and putting it somewhere else, which is what a lot of people do as well. Oh, no, it's different. I'm in Dubai or I'm in Thailand, but you're doing the exact same things as the 10 other people before you.
Exactly.
Be unique. That's why having like a creator legacy, right? Where they're creating something and not just consuming is so critical for everyone, right? What do you want to leave behind? What does Chase want to leave behind?
Too many stuff.
That would be a long episode. We might have to get into that one day.
Okay. So it's been a while. So let's see. I think let's just keep it short.
Yeah, sounds good.
But definitely we are between Rob and I. We're starting a school community, right? And we're planning to add a lot of values. It's going to be sales, marketing, branding, coaching, right?
Everything. We're going to go into business setup. We're going to go into business financing. How do you get business credit? We're going to go into YouTube. We're going to go into Reddit. How many marketing companies do you know that do Reddit? Have you ever met one? I've never met one. That's us. We're going to do YouTube marketing. That's what this guy's here for specifically. We're going to do branding. That's also what Chase does very well. And then we're going to do market on all the different platforms, help you grow your accounts, email marketing, just everything. Full service for creators, right? All you have to do is sit back and just create content. That's it.
You make it sound too easy, Rob. All right.
Yeah, so we'll be launching that pretty soon.
Yeah.
Hopefully within a month or so.
A month or so.
And there's going to be tremendous amounts of value there, right? It would easily be like a $50,000 mastermind. Easy.
Yeah.
Right? I paid $15,000 for a mastermind with Aspire, and they're good. I got to give them credit. So shout out to Aspire. But it's just real estate.
Yeah.
Right? They don't talk about business credit. They don't talk about sales. They don't talk about marketing. They don't talk about branding. And a lot of that you might not need for real estate, but there's a lot of issues with real estate. Like, how do you get money, right? You can't just go talk to private lenders. What about buying a business? Maybe that's a better approach for some people. What about seller financing? Maybe go into those details. We're going to cover all that.
Yeah.
That's the whole point with Creator Legacy, is giving people ways to create income for themselves. Yeah.
And their family, right?
And their family. Yes, definitely. 100%. So their family, the people they care about, any of that.
Yeah. So
Big families. We all want big families. How many kids you want, Chase?
I don't know, just two.
Just two.
Yeah, I want to travel, bro.
Two's not enough. I already got two. You need like 15.
No, not 15. Not some of our other friends that wants, kids around the world. So yeah, so definitely that's what we're excited. That's the
We
project
are.
that we're working on. And we know that this is something that we've been talking about for so long, right?
Long time. Over a
long
year.
time,
We've
yeah.
been planning for a long time.
Yeah.
And the pieces weren't all there, but now that we're kind of filtering it all together, we're going to have so much curriculum there.
Yeah.
And I've worked in training for 20 years. So,
Oh,
and Chase is a natural trainer when he worked at the airport, so it's going to be a good fit.
yeah. So stay tuned for that.
Yes.